I'd like to rope in Mr. Jain into the conversation, sir. I first of all like to apologize for interjecting you twice. But of course, Mr. Mehta has stated that CM Kejriwal's political journey had begun with his staunch stance against corruption. The big question today is that will CM Kejriwal be arrested? If so, will that what sort of repercussions could that have on his reputation? What will happen if he is arrested?
First of all, I would like to correct something that Anila Singh, the BJP spokesperson, had said earlier on the debate. She's saying that these investigations are happening on the directions of the Supreme Court. That is not all the case. The ED is suo motu conducting these investigations. The role of the Supreme Court and High Courts is only limited to not granting bail to Manish Sisodia and other accused. That is it. The investigations are not happening on the directions of the court, first of all. Secondly, to answer your question that if indeed Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, is arrested in this case, I am not quite sure. Obviously, you can't have a state running with the CM in jail. So obviously, they'll have to put somebody else in place. And that'll be a political turmoil for the Aam Aadmi Party because the tallest leaders that they have, Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, Arvind Kejriwal, if indeed Kejriwal is arrested, then all the top brass of the party is in jail. I don't really know what sort of political turf war is going to happen in the Aam Aadmi Party if that indeed happens. But the more worrying question for me as a citizen is that is this how I want the state I live in be governed? That there is a constant sword hanging over the head of my chief minister. See, I'll be very honest. I have no love for the Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal. The kind of allegations that have been going around making against the Chhattisgarh CM and every single state they try and contest, I don't agree with that line of politics. If indeed somebody is corrupt, you bring some proof to the fore, or you rely on charge sheets and other documents filed by investigating agencies in the court. But that is not the style of politics of Arvind Kejriwal. He just goes around, makes allegations, and after the elections, he just disappears and vanishes. That is not how politics should be done. But at the same time, what the BJP is doing right now, that is also not how politics should be done. That every time you face some political threat by any political party, whether it's the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress, you start raiding their leaders. And just to put things in perspective for your viewers, I'd like to put some numbers out there. It is from a September 2022 Indian Express report, and I'm sure the numbers are worse now. Since 2014, there has been a four-fold jump in the number of ED cases against politicians as a whole, as a class, right? During the 2004 to 14 UPA era, about 54% of the ED cases that were against politicians were against opposition party members, which is about, fair, like half against the opposition, half against the ruling party. I don't think you can, point a bias there. There were cases against Congress party politicians as well. But since 2014, four-fold jump in the number of cases by ED. Not a single case has been tried that has been filed after 14. Not a single case has resulted in a verdict, to the best of my knowledge. And 95% of the cases are against opposition leaders. Now, the BJP is going to turn around and say, no, look, there are also 6 cases against BJP politicians, half of whom are not in the BJP anymore, and none of them is a significant leader, unlike the opposition leaders who've been raided or summoned or arrested by the BJP, by the ED, which includes Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Abhishek Banerjee, Sharad Pawar, Sanjay Raut, Dayanidhi Azagri, Mayawati, Akhilesh Yadav, now Mr. Kejriwal, OP Chautala, Manish Sisodia. Basically, the top leadership of every single opposition party has been raided or arrested or summoned by the ED, but the BJP, nobody is ever touched, including the same people who were not in the BJP earlier, and the ED said that this is a problem. I would actually also like to point out an interesting fact for your viewers, and they can go and look it up. Ajit Pawar was being prosecuted by the ED, and there was a hearing in the Bombay High Court before the breakaway government had formed. Earlier, the ED was full blow against Ajit Pawar. This is the most corrupt man and this and that. And when all of this political turmoil was happening in the state of Maharashtra, the prosecutor from the ED had nothing to say in the court. The judges started laughing. You first get your directions. Ki ab kya karna? Because that is how ED is being used. It's not an investigative agency anymore. It is an election department. And that is something that the people of the country need to realize. Whether Kejriwal has committed a scam or not, that is probably secondary at this point of time. The primary thing is whether this government is allowing the opposition in the country to function freely, whether it's the Aam Aadmi Party, Congress, or any other party. And that is the problem. And also about the money trail, the ED has been going around saying, we found the money trail, Well and good. Where is the money? You're saying there is 338 crores. Have you shown recovery of even 4 crores? I'm not quite sure how to believe the ED when they say that they found the money trails. They've been finding money trails everywhere. But there's no money that the ED actually finds, whether it's any case that you go. Sanjay Raut has been in jail. Nawab Malik has been in jail for over a year from the NCP. So many leaders have been in jail. But where is the money? Where is the proven crime? What does the ED do? It functions under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is primarily dealt to deal with proceeds of crime. If I have done a crime, I have made some money out of it, the ED is going to investigate me. But neither any crime has been proven, nor any money has been found. Yet you have ministers and MLAs and MPs from opposition parties in jail for God knows how long. And it's again, I'd like to reiterate, it is very unfortunate that the courts of the country are tossing away the basic principles of bail. Bail is a matter of right, and continuously opposition politicians are being denied bail, even by the Supreme Court of India, on the ground that they are powerful people, so they can influence the investigation. So even though the investigation hasn't resulted in anything concrete, we are going to keep them in custody. If that indeed happens, I'm sorry, but I think Raghav Chadda's fears are not mistaken. They are probably all right. That if everybody else in the opposition is in jail because preventively they are detained because they may have committed some crime, they may influence the investigation, then who is going to left to fight the Lok Sabha elections against the BJP? BJP versus BJP होगा फिर राजस्थान में जो हो रहा है वसुंधरा राजे fighting Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, probably that is what we're going to see in 24. Yogi fighting Modi, Modi fighting Shah. Where is the opposition? Nowhere. Or everybody is locked up in jail. Why? Just because the ED is keeping them and the court is not letting them out, flouting all basic principles and tenets of bail, as all lawyers have studied over the years. Bail is a right, but opposition politicians are simply being not extended that right, and that is very problematic. And the country needs to think why this is happening. And the only reason is elections. And Mehta Saab earlier said that Modi ji चाह रहे हैं one nation one election हो, इसीलिए तो चाह रहे हैं क्योंकि ED का रेड होता रहता है. What is he trying to say? I'm not sure. Is he trying to say that ED का काम कम करने के लिए एक ही टाइम पे इलेक्शन कर देना चाहिए? And sir, see, jokes apart, when you say that the ED has limited force and they are going to raid people at all the times, I'll agree with you. The problem is when do they raid? When do they raid who? When Rajasthan elections are around the corner and you're arresting the person who's the Rajasthan Congress chief, questions will be asked. You can go to Karnataka, you can go to all the other states that have ED cases, corruption allegations, and this and that, and you can probe. But instead of doing that, how does the ED always show up in the state where the elections are around the corner? Not the entire country goes to elections at the same time. It's only 5 states that are going to elections at this time. Then why is the ED most present in Rajasthan right now? They could be present in any other state also. And this is precisely the point that I want to keep on making, that ED is the election department of the BJP. And I'm sorry, but that's all I can say to it. There's no proof. Find the proof first and then make allegations.
All right, sir. I'd like to take concluding remarks from my guests. First, I'd like to rope in Mr. Jain only. So, you've quoted some statistics, you've presented some statistics. What you said is something that the INDI bloc constantly has been reiterating over the past year. Do you think a precedent is being set?
Absolutely, a horrible precedent is being set that if you raise any voice against Modi, if you raise any voice against Adani or the BJP, you will be summoned, you will be raided, you will be locked up in jail, and even a charge sheet wouldn't be filed, let alone a trial in a judicial court. A charge sheet also wouldn't be filed. And that is the kind of precedent the entire country and all the citizenry need to worry about. That do we want to live in a country where the opposition leaders are treated like they can just be picked up and thrown in jail? If they can be, what about you and me? What about the common people of the country? Are we completely looking to suppress dissent and opposition in the country? Is that the right way to go for a democracy? Those are questions that the people of India need to ask.
All right, and I'd like to leave the last remark with Mr. Mehta. Sir, how would you like to respond to this question?
I think only the judiciary can give the right judgment, and that's why one should respect the judiciary. And what about the government and the opposition? You see, earlier days, because I know since last 50 years I was covering the parliament and the parties, I know the Congress party or the other party, even the Atal Bihari Vajpayee period, also the BJP period, they used to say, okay, don't do anything against us, then they will not raise these questions. Congress party was doing in the same way, and that's why when the DMK and the other charges were there, now the Congress party is also with the DMK. Earlier they were fighting and they said, okay, we will have adjustment, we will not charge anybody with each other. So that is what the tragedy. Nowadays, the government and the ruling party, and especially the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he says, no concession because you are in the opposition. Whatever you want to do, go do. But if there are some legal cases and there are corruption charges, the agencies will work. That is the main difference of the earlier days and now. Because the opposition, now the number of states, They have the opposition also in the power. Why they can't do against the BJP people if they were in the power in Himachal or in Punjab or in Chhattisgarh, or in Rajasthan also they were in the power. What they did against the BJP people, because if they had the charges, they were charging. But the Aam Aadmi Party, when they come in power, they said, okay, we want to have some adjustment with the all parties. We will not do each other, but with the BJP we will fight. That is the tragedy of Indian democracy. They are misusing the democratic rights. They should respect the judiciary.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.